Hello everyone, happy Monday. So I'm here with Dr. Bita Badakhshan. She's a medical doctor with the Cancer Center for Healing and Center for New Medicine. She has many years of experience in doing both, from common cold to cancer, autoimmune, all integrative functional medicine therapies, all the way to cancer. She is going to talk tonight about heavy metals and what you can do. What are heavy metals, how do you get them in your body, and how to purify your body. And we want you to know that we want you to share this message as much as you can. We're here to educate you, all your friends, your family. We're on a mission to share this with the world because you hear about plane crashes, you hear about auto crashes, but you don't learn about people in health dying every day of different autoimmune diseases and all kinds of issues. And so we want to get that message out there and give you the tools to make it right. So with that, here's Dr. Bita.
Thank you all for joining me here, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Dr. Bita. Today we're going to talk about heavy metal. You all probably wonder how you're exposed to heavy metals. The air we breathe due to the coal combustion, the mercury and the cadmium, the water we drink that has arsenic, the food that we eat, like chicken has arsenic, even organic, because the water is not filtered for those chickens. The fish that we eat has mercury. So we are exposed to heavy metal daily basis. But is it going to be toxic to our body or not? Not everyone going to have the toxicity because we have a good mechanism in our body to detox. But some of us, unfortunately, cannot detox, and the heavy metal will accumulate in our body. So what heavy metal am I talking about? Is like aluminum, mercury, arsenic, lead, cadmium. These are the most common ones that even aluminum, the aluminum foil that you use to warm your food up, or can. When you buy a tomato in can, that can also cause problem, heavy metal in the and heavy metals. So some people may have symptoms, like myself in 2002 when I had a patient for first time, came in with anxiety. He was getting panic attack. He was having memory loss, feeling fatigue. And we did the workup on him, and he had very high mercury level. And he would eat sushi. So then detoxing him from mercury, he didn't need to take Xanax anymore. That's a problem. A lot of doctors, they just treat the symptoms. They're like, okay, what's your symptoms? Anxiety, takes this Ativan, or take this Xanax. But you have to look at the root cause, and even joint pain sometimes can be due to heavy metals. So what heavy metal does, it affects our immune system. It suppresses our immune system. Our cellular Krebs cycle get affected. It affects our hormone, our thyroid. A lot of people like, why do I have low functioning thyroid? Because mercury can affect the conversion of T4 to T3. So you can become hypothyroid. After doing heavy metal detox, your thyroid starts functioning well. In menopausal women, it can cause hypertension, elevated blood pressure due to stiffness of the arteries. And also because it affects the bone marrow and our bone, it can cause osteoporosis. It accumulates. The problem with heavy metal is it doesn't just float around in your blood. It can also accumulate in your bone marrow. So these are the problems. So if you don't even have the symptoms, it's always good to ask your doctor to do heavy metal testing. There are different ways you could do testing. But you want to make sure you don't have mercury fillings, and then do like an IV chelation, for example, which I will talk later, because if you have a heavy metal in your mouth and you do this testing, provocative heavy metal testing, then you are getting the mercury, you are getting it in your bloodstream from the filling, amalgam filling, 50% of it is mercury. So you could do hair tests, you could do blood tests, you could do urine, but blood is not as accurate, the reason I just said, because heavy metal doesn't circulate in our blood only. Sometimes if people are consuming a lot of, so I could get closer. So sometimes when people are consuming a lot of fish, their mercury level can be up. So is the volume okay there?
Yes.
Can,
Yeah.
okay. So the best way to do it, if you don't have mercury fillings, is to do a provocative heavy metal test, which is basically IV chelation is given, and orally and as an IV, and then we could measure, collect that urine over a period of 9 hours and check what your heavy metals are. So how can we get rid of it out of our body? How can we? So what we could do is there are natural chelators that some people like modified citrus pectin, there are cilantros, there are broccoli, sprout seeds. You could, oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. There are natural chelator that you could take, like cilantro, not the broccoli sprout seed. Broccoli sprout seed is a glutathione. It helps the glutathione to work better, to detox. So, and there are synthetic chelators like medication, like EDTA, that we're going to talk about, and DMSA. So EDTA is good for aluminum, it's good for arsenic, it's good for lead. But for example, for mercury, EDTA is not the best option. You want to do DMSA, which we do. But before you start your patient on these are important because a lot of people can go and buy chelators and get them started on it. But that's not good for your health. You want to make sure your kidneys are functioning right, you have good kidney function, you're drinking enough water. You want to make sure your liver is functioning right. You want to make sure your gut is good before you start this. So the liver function, you could take supplements to improve your glutathione function. What is glutathione? Glutathione is a major antioxidant that our body has to detox, to get rid of the free radicals, everything. A majority of people or patients with cancer, for example, they have very low glutathione. The glutathione is depleted, so the body cannot protect against free radical, cannot detoxify heavy metals. So you do see on cancer patients having high heavy metals as well. So you want to upregulate the glutathione before starting the detox. So how do we upregulate it? Then you could take broccoli sprout seeds. You could eat garlic. Garlic is great to upregulate. You could take supplements like milk thistle. You could do IV glutathione, which we do at the office. And then once your liver function is good, when your glutathione is upregulated, some people do coffee enemas to upregulate the glutathione. Once the kidney is okay, your gut is good, then you could go ahead and start doing the heavy metal detox with IV chelation. Some cases you could start depending, like today I had a patient who lead level was 40. After 10 sessions, the lead came down to 20s. So I said, you know what, you would benefit from 10 more sessions. Some, if you do your research out there are people who do between 20 to 40 times of chelation. People feel better. The arteries are more clear. You don't have that stiffness in the artery. Their energy level is better. They're clear-minded. They don't have that foggy brain. Their cholesterol improves. The oxidative LDL goes down. So there are a lot of benefits. So it's good to do the testing to find out what your level is, and then make sure your organs are functioning right. Then you could do the chelation. So
Talk about food.
Any question? Yes.
Okay.
Any question out there?
I think I would have a question. I do actually.
Let me get her.
Ozone, does that also upregulate glutathione?
Absolutely, yeah. Ozone does upregulate glutathione, yes. People can do it rectally, or they could do ozone in their blood. Or the side effects sometimes you could get initially with using glutathione or detoxing from chelation, you may feel a little bit fatigued, you may develop a little bit headache, you may feel a little bit tremors because heavy metal can cause tremors. I had a patient who had tremors. I started her detoxing. During that detox period, her tremor got worse, but then it got better. So during that detox period, you may have some symptoms, but afterward, you feel much better. And they even say it's like an anti-aging to do IV chelation because it cleans your arteries. Your blood vessels are not that stiff. Then you have a better blood circulation, then you have more oxygenation. So.
Does anybody else, do we have questions? Go ahead.
Well, I tested high for aluminum, but it was a blood test, so I don't know, your test sounds much more.
No, if you had elevated the blood test on aluminum, I usually don't check aluminum on the blood test. I don't know what's it, but if it was elevated, it's not a bad.
And they did a heavy metal test via the blood.
Okay, so if you did have aluminum elevated, you may using deodorant that has aluminum, maybe foil.
No foil, no.
Maybe you got it from your mother. So that's another way to get it from your mom. When she was pregnant, when she had heavy metals, that's how the fetus get it. So that's why,
Hang out for all these.
yeah, exactly, that's the problem. Heavy metal, if your body cannot detox, it can accumulate in your body, in your organ, in your bone. That's why when I see a pregnant woman or before they want to get pregnant, I detox them for heavy metals. So poor baby doesn't get all those heavy metals.
So it could have come 20, 30 years ago.
Absolutely.
Aluminum deodorant.
Absolutely. Exactly.
I also understand that it's chemtrails that some people believe
Exactly.
are heavy.
Yeah, the chemtrails, you could get heavy metals like aluminum and other heavy metals. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
I read that if you're taking salicinium, that you shouldn't be taking antioxidants.
So her question was, if you're taking salicinium, you shouldn't be taking antioxidant. Correct. When you're on salicinium, you shouldn't be taking high dose vitamin C or so. Chelation for someone who's in salicinium IVs is not a good idea. Once the salicinium is done with your cancer protocol is done, then you could detox yourself.
From salicinium IV, you go to the oral.
Yes,
So do you still have to stay away from?
correct.
They can't hear her.
So her question is, after IV salicinium, you go to oral. Can you detox then, or can you use antioxidant then? Answer is no, because first you do the IV to saturate your body, then you go on the oral dose, so your body is saturated. So at that time, you don't really want to do antioxidant, not taking higher than 500 milligram of vitamin C or 1,000. That's, yeah.
Dr. Bita, I have some questions online here. So should we do vitamin C IVs as with an autoimmune disease such as RA, or would that be contraindicated?
No, absolutely. I have my patient with rheumatoid arthritis or any kind of autoimmune disease do IV vitamin C. And that's a good point. Like even MS, multiple sclerosis, that was studies shows that it could be due to elevated mercury in the brain, causing demyelination of the nerve sheath, causing MS. So that's, even mercury can do it. So then detoxing and doing IV vitamin C is great. IV vitamin C for autoimmune. And
You're probably going to repeat my questions when I talk.
Oh,
So
okay.
here's your next one, okay? I've been diagnosed with breast cancer again after having a double mastectomy a year ago. Can I have heavy metal testing here at our location, and then would it, as well as getting a consult for alternative care rather than radiation or being
okay.
you're suggesting.
So
there's, like,
patient,
three questions.
okay, so patient is stating that she had breast cancer, double mastectomy, now she's having recurrent. Is that right?
That's
She's having
correct.
recurrent.
She's wanting to know
And
if
she
can
wants
take a
to
heavy
know
metal test.
if she could do heavy metal test. Yes, absolutely. If you don't have any mercury filling, if you do have mercury filling, you could just do blood test for your heavy metals. Like if you have high lead and high mercury, even cadmium, sometimes shows in the blood test too. And then, and you could do, the next question was to do alternative treatments for, yes, that's possible too.
Okay. Okay, here's the next question. Sorry guys with the construction. Are you,
Sorry guys, we have a construction going on. Hopefully you can
but you
hear.
have a mic, so it should be
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm hoping. This one is asking about protein powders. Are any known to have heavy metals in them? And
So
is
there
a specific
are,
brand?
okay, so that's true. There are, so the question is if protein powder, can they have heavy metal? Yes, protein powders. Supplements can have heavy metals like lead and other heavy metals. So it's good to go on consumerslab.com and check the powder you're taking or the supplement you're taking. Make sure it doesn't have heavy metals in them. So it's consumerslab.com.
Can heavy metals cause autoimmune disease?
Absolutely. Heavy metal can cause autoimmune disease. It can.
And then how do you detox the liver if you have cancer in the liver?
So how do you detox the liver if you have cancer in the liver? So if you have cancer in the liver, your liver function, your liver is functioning. I mean, the whole liver is not affected. So you could do coffee enemas that can upregulate your glutathione to detox your liver. IV glutathione is not that recommended for people with cancer necessarily, because sometimes cancer can use glutathione to protect themselves against free radical. So let's say if I want to give someone a chemo and then I have them do glutathione, the glutathione can protect the cancer from the chemo. So you don't want to do that. So, but glutathione, if someone don't have cancer, is a great thing to do, and to take IV. Oral supplement of glutathione doesn't work that greatly as IV or using it as a nebulizer. So,
How can you detoxify when you have fatty liver?
how do you detect you have fatty?
If you have fatty liver.
So, good question. How do you detect if you have fatty liver? So, fatty liver can be because of heavy metal. Heavy metal can cause fatty liver, and doing an abdominal ultrasound can show that you have fatty liver, and that's how you could reverse it. It's very reversible, easy reversible. So you could change your diet, remove the carbohydrates, processed food, detoxing your liver with milk thistle, doing IV glutathione. All those will help to reverse fatty liver.
I have lots of questions here, Dr. Bita. I'm going back. Okay, we talked about the liver. Okay, do you treat RA? I'm doing a raw vegan diet for rheumatoid arthritis, and the inflammation's decreased, but I'm still waiting. I'm still having swelling and pain.
Okay.
I've not started meds yet.
So question was if I treat RA, rheumatic arthritis. Yes, I do. And you do not want to take the rheumatic arthritis medication because they're really immunosuppressant. I had a patient who was on it. After a year, they were doing yearly colonoscopy on him, and he developed colon cancer. So it's known taking immune suppressant leads to cancer. Why would we want to do that? So you have to look for the root cause of your RA. So one of the things, bacteria blood work I do is it's Mycoplasma pneumonia. Ask your doctor to do that on your blood. It's a blood test to look at Mycoplasma pneumonia serum level. IgGs tend to be elevated in patients with rheumatic arthritis, and treating that bacteria can help. Getting high dose IV vitamin C can help with rheumatic arthritis because it kills also bacteria, virus, the root cause. So you really want to go for the look for the root cause. You don't want to take those autoimmune disease. At least I wouldn't recommend it. It's up to you.
Okay, is colostrum okay to take if you have cancer? Concerned about the growth factor fueling the cancer cells.
No, colostrum is okay. It's IgG. It's good for your gut, intestinal. Majority of cancer patients do have leaky gut. Could be due to food allergies. Yes, colostrum is good to take. It's not going to feed your cancer. But a lot of people do take L-glutamine. That is a lot of gut supplement, leaky gut. They have very high L-glutamine. L-glutamine, cancer cell can use. Cancer cell uses glucose and L-glutamine. So you don't want to take supplements high in L-glutamine. But colostrum would be fine.
Okay, can you do that if you are nursing? Do heavy metal detox?
So if you're nursing, what I do is, if you're nursing, can you do heavy metal detox? Yes or no. You can't do chelation, but you could take chlorella. So which I forgot to mention, when I detox patient, I put them on chlorella because chlorella will bind to the heavy metals in the gut and get them out. Chlorella won't allow the heavy metal from fish or from your chicken or other stuff being absorbed. So it's good to take chlorella, but I wouldn't do IV chelation or anything like that or any medication like DMSA. And then also eating cilantro or doing cilantro extracts are good.
Okay, next, I don't know if you're familiar with Eminex for mercury chelation.
Which one?
It's called Erminex. Erminex? I haven't heard of that.
Okay, I haven't heard of it, but for mercury chelation, also zeolite is good. We have a product called Cytodetox, which is form of zeolite. It attached to mercury and get it out. But if the mercury level is very high, what I use is DMSA. It's a prescription that I give to patient. I have them take it every other night, plus the stuff that I discussed. Make sure upregulating the glutathione, make sure kidney function is good, make sure gut is good, all those.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question. There's a brand of chlorella. It comes in an aluminum pouch. You get it at Mother's. I'm just wondering if that aluminum, rubs off on the little chlorella pills, and would it be better to buy chlorella in a jar?
So question is, her chlorella supplement comes in aluminum foil. So if it leaks into the chlorella, I mean, it could, but the purpose of chlorella is to not let it get absorbed, but I still wouldn't buy stuff in aluminum. The problem is you don't know how long it's been in there, and heat and other stuff. Usually when acid is involved, that's when let's say you cook something with tomatoes in aluminum, put it in the oven, that's when that acid from tomato can go into the aluminum, can leak more. So I don't know how much it will leak, but I think it's safer to not do it.
So when you eat fish, should you take chlorella?
So absolutely. So you have fish. Let's say if you have elevated mercury level in your body, you'd really want to avoid big fishes like halibut, sea bass, even king salmon. They get pretty big. They get the size of small tunas. So you want to do smaller form of wild salmon. So, or you want to do sardines or other smaller fishes. But yeah, when I, for example, going to eat fish, I take my chlorella to not allow that mercury to be absorbed. And also, if you want to go for a sushi, I'm not keen for sushi because of the mercury, radiation, and parasite. But if you do eat sushi, take hydrochloric acid, HCl, so it kills the parasite, so that doesn't cross. And then take your chlorella, so the mercury doesn't get absorbed.
Should you take it before eating or after?
I would, okay, so you should take it, when you should take it, HCl, you take it with food when you're eating, and then chlorella, you could take before going, and then do it at night too. Yeah, and the dosage of chlorella is usually about 1 gram.
Okay, so does milk thistle make you sick when you start taking it to detox?
If milk thistle makes you sick when you take to detox, No, milk thistle shouldn't make you sick. It's not like glutathione IV or glutathione that causes or chelation. No, it doesn't. I haven't heard from patients complaining of feeling sick when taking it. You notice you will have more bowel movements. You go to the bathroom more, you clear. It's very important to have one or twice, at least one or ideally 2 to 3 times bowel movement throughout the day, because that's when your colon is cleaning. A lot of people with breast cancer, history of breast cancer, colon cancer, they have history of constipation because all the heavy metal and toxins gets reabsorbed. The xenoestrogen, environmental estrogen, get absorbed. You want to make sure your bowel is more working well.
Okay. Does having low vitamin D contribute to heavy metal accumulation?
To having a low vitamin D, if it contributes to elevated heavy metal, I have to say I don't know about that. I know having low vitamin D suppresses your immune system. The majority of cancer patients have very low vitamin D. Vitamin D play a key role for your white blood cell and immune system. I know that, but through my reading and all conferences I've gone, I haven't seen linked between vitamin D and heavy metal. But I know the viruses downregulate our vitamin D level. So you may be taking 10,000 vitamin D every day, but your level is low because you don't have enough receptor because of the viruses. They downregulate your receptors.
So we're getting down to the last few questions here. I was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer that spread to the bones in my back. What can I take naturally?
So patient states she was diagnosed metastatic stage 4 breast cancer, mets to the bone. What she could take naturally in terms of detoxing heavy metals or in terms of her cancer?
Yeah, what can she do naturally to help with heavy metals?
Okay, so naturally to help with heavy metals, cilantro, eating garlic, doing coffee enemas. Hyperbaric oxygen is great for her case too. But in general, coffee enemas would help to upregulate the glutathione. You want to check your glutathione level, see where it is. And you don't want to take glutathione supplement, but you want to upregulate your own system. Modified citrus pectin, which I have a lot of cancer patients take. It's a good way to detox too, but it's not as strong as a chelator like DMSA or EDTA, but modified citrus pectin is good. Bentonite clay. In Europe, in Germany, majority of cancer centers, they have bath with clay bath that patients do, that the toxins get out. It's good to do a clay bath at home once a week, be in it for 20 minutes and sweat. When you sweat, you get rid of your cadmium. That's a good way of getting rid of, like if someone is a smoker and do sweat, use sauna, it has less side effect, the cadmiums. So, and bentonite clay, you could take internally. They have food graded that you could take daily, but you want to make sure it's about 2 hours before eating or 2 hours after. And then when you do the bath, you want to make sure you take trace minerals. Even with my IV chelation patient, I put them on trace minerals, I put them on enzymes, because you are moving stuff, you want to take enzyme to break it down, and then you want to take trace mineral because you're losing your own trace mineral. You lose your zinc, you lose your manganese, you lose your good ones too. You can get rid of iron. And a lot of cancer patients may have elevated iron or ferritin level, so IV chelation can help with that to get rid of the ferritin and iron level.
Okay.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you guys for coming. I hope this was a helpful talk.